This is the Between Two Firms podcast, episode 7.
Wait a minute. Let's reframe this just one second.
These are good problems to have.
And what we can do with money to help our family over generations.
And working towards my entire career when I decided, you know what, I think I need to do my own thing.
And I'm like, awesome.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Nick Kobos, host of Between Two Firms podcast, and I am joined by, I think we agreed upon, our showrunner supreme, Matt Nomchik. Matt.
Yeah, that's more of a internal naming convention. Showrunner supreme, editing engineer,
Chief editing engineer.
I guess de facto chief editing
engineer.
It's a solo endeavor.
Is showrunner supreme? Is that hyphenated? Is that showrunner comma supreme? What's the nomenclature on that?
You tell me. You're the one that made the org chart.
I think Marissa made the org chart. I'll defer to you, and I'll just go off of whatever you decide to put in your LinkedIn, and we'll just run with that.
May never get an update on LinkedIn.
Well, we'll see. I thought that was fun. I had a great time chatting with Kim and Heather, learning about their firm. There's a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about. Namely, I mean, you folks listening, you'll hear about it here soon. But their lore, dude, they got a whole lore.
Yeah, they built. That's like part of the culture thing. But they built up. You know, they went very big on the whole naming schema thing, and everything has like their own internal naming and the client facing naming too. And I'm sure it makes it more fun for both parties, you know.
Yeah, for folks listening probably have no idea what the hell we're talking about. That's okay. You'll hear them. You'll hear Heather and Kim kind of talk about it here in a few minutes. But man, I thought that was fascinating. I would have loved to dive deeper on that, but just means we'll have to invite them back if they'll have us. Matt was making me self-conscious. There's a part of the interview where he's at the beginning where we're talking about kind of just women-owned firms in general, and kind of what goes along with that. And Matt was disapproving of my use of the word female. I guess I was, before doing this, I was in the Army, and in the Army you say male or female, and so I guess I was saying female, and Matt, as soon as I got out from recording, Matt started chastising me for using the wrong vernacular. So as he sits here looking at me for disapprovingly.
Like I said, I don't know. Maybe it just feels like overly scientific for casual conversation. Like,
I'm a biology instructor.
Like when you talk about a female-owned firm, and it's like you're observing it, like Jane Goodall or something, rather than just talking to like.
I'm gonna chastise you when we're done. I'm gonna chastise you, Jane Goodall, dude. That's messed up. It's messed up. I'm gonna chastise you when we're done. But no, jokes aside, we talk about a lot of cool stuff, and like I said, there's always more stuff that I want to talk about. I was chastised yesterday, and I mentioned it. Well, for folks listening for our last week,
it'll be a week apart.
Yeah. I was chastised yesterday by our showrunner supreme for going long, so I made every effort. For a minute there, it was touch and go. It looked like I was going to go way along again, and
you wrapped it up.
Managed to take a knee and stop the clock, but there's just so much good stuff to talk about. I don't know.
Yeah, the last few have left you wanting more. You know, we didn't get to the full.
We've in talking with Matt and Marissa about it. We've noted that in an effort to add some flair and pizzazz to the show, we're gonna do what we're gonna call our first inaugural. We've been doing it, I think, on most of these intros, but we're gonna formally name it here and now, a weekly firm update. So, Matt, you're gonna have to come up with some little jingle or some shtick that we. What was that? Do you hear a beep? I heard it beep. Anyway, we're gonna have to come up with some little shtick for firm update and
Yeah. Well, you're saying we now.
well, we is you know it's a general we. It's we as in we on this
As
call.
in Matt.
Yeah, showrunner supreme. Showrunner supreme. Yeah. But yeah, I think you did good on the other little jingles or the whoosh noise. I don't get to hear it because we're.
I like the intro song. Intro song
I mean, you made it. So
was a good result for me. I don't know. We have no feedback on that.
if you if you have a serious dislike of our intro song, please let us know in the comments and give me
Forward all inquiries into my spam inbox.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll do our little firm update. What do you think, Matt? What do we have to update folks on? We've got a bunch of stuff, dude.
Yeah, like I was saying in the last take,
just always.
We're in the full swing with hiring, and
Don't say the last take. Don't let the people know that we
no,
botched
they should know that you like to cut and do
authentic.
the whole thing from the top.
This is authentic. This is authentic. These are one and dones.
It's authentic on the 4th try. And anyways,
We're getting better at it. We're getting
we're
better
in
at
the
it.
full swing with hiring, and we're learning a lot, I think.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the candidate that we had today, not to get too specific, but candidate we had today, we both agreed was a better fit than the one that we had yesterday. I was kind of unoptimistic about the 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 pool after yesterday, but I think we're going to be able to get somebody that we can work with long term in the firm.
Yeah, that's what fires me. I don't know. I'm with you. Learning a lot, doing interviews, and I mean, like all things, I think you learn by doing it, and just getting reps. And I think we're definitely learning. I'm definitely learning. But I just get so excited during interviews because it's just exciting to me to just bring another person into the team. Like I love the team. The team, I don't know, the growing of the team is the part of all of this that I think excites me the most.
Not the revenue.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong, revenue is cool too. No, revenue is cool too. But no, honestly, like, I
That's not what I hear in the meetings. I just hear revenue. Revenue.
Okay, so next time we do a team meeting, it'll be I don't know what do my voice again as I talk about the importance of adding
revenue.
Is that what I do? Is that what I do? It just fires me up. Fires me up. Chatting with people that I think we could vibe with and that I think would be great long-term additions to the team. I have fun in the interviews, dude. I have fun I talk too much, I think, in maybe some of the interviews, but
I think we structured the one today
pretty good.
better, and I think we'll have something good for the remainder of them.
Yeah, for the listening audience, and we'll cut to the interview after this. But for the listening audience, what we decided to do for the interview, is and you know, we don't know what the hell we're doing, but what the kind of framework we agreed upon is we start with kind of walking the candidate through. We don't tell them our core values, but we have a set of questions that are tied to our core values. And so it's kind of and core values is just a go, no go event. So it's like, hey, we either get the perception that this person is in alignment with our core values, or this person may struggle. It's just not a core values fit. Right. And so that's kind of phase one. And then from there, we've been doing kind of a technical little skills test, which I think of everything that we're doing is probably the part that would probably want to improve upon the next time. But we're just using right now, we're hiring for a bookkeeping role. I don't know. I'll let you kind of describe what we're doing, Matt.
Yeah, it's just a technical thing. And I guess there was some limitations with what we're able to do remotely. We didn't have it fully configured yet. So it's become more of a scenario based question set.
Yeah, we should probably look into some actual like skills tests. I know they're out there. So
yeah, but I think we got a lot. We understood a lot about our interviewee today from based on the responses that we got, even if it was a bit suboptimal in its structure.
The way we deliver
Yeah.
the skill set. No, I agree. Yeah, then we close out with just trying to understand what the candidates' goals are and what they're
How
trying.
to align.
Yeah, what they're looking for, because that's the part that gets me excited. It's like I think it's fun figuring out where people want to go and trying to build something that aligns with build a ship that aligns with the folks on boards.
Yeah, mutually
expectations.
beneficial.
Yeah, right. So anyway, I had fun getting to know our candidate this morning. We're getting better at interviewing. We're learning. So that's really what we've been up to. That and like the 17 other things that we're doing just to stay afloat. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about, or you just want to?
I think at the risk of ruining your hosting
my
prowess,
last minute save on the time.
Shortening the time. I think we should go ahead and transition to the interview.
Okay, well, welcome to the show. Our guests today are Kelleher and Heather Deibele from Luma Accounting, coming to us from Portland, Oregon, or the greater Portland, Oregon area. Are you both out of Portland?
We're very close. Yeah.
Very close. Suburbia. Okay, well, fair enough. So, Kim and Heather, Kim and I kind of got pseudo-connected through the Realize community and mutual acquaintance Lauren Dozier, who was on episode 4. We'll drop the link to her episode in the show notes below. But I'm super excited to chat with both of you. There's a lot of cool stuff that you guys put in our little intake sheet, and I've got a bunch of things already lined up that I know I want to jump into. But before we go into the meat and potatoes, why don't we start with you guys just telling me a little bit about yourselves and how you got into accounting, and then from accounting into launching your own practices, and then merge it. Like, just I want to know the whole story. How did we get here?
All right. Who do you want to start?
Go for it, Kim.
All right. So I basically am the accidental accountant is basically what I say, because I was a math major in college. I liked coding. I did corporate America in Manhattan for 10 years before getting married and then having a family. And we ended up having 4 kids, which was never necessarily in my plan, but one happened and I went, oh my God. So I knew I did not want to continue in what I was doing. It was not even a thought to go back. And we moved from Manhattan to Portland, Oregon. So it was really at around the 10-year mark when I had been a part of the kids as they got older, being with the PSO at school, their sports leagues, those types of things as volunteer. And nobody wanted to raise their hand for the treasurer role. And because I'd been using Quicken at home, I was like, well, I like that kind of stuff. And so I became that in several different places. And that's how I got to know QuickBooks. And of course, it was desktop at the time. And anyway, when people think that you like that kind of stuff, a lot of people start passing your name around. And so people in the community were like, hey, wait a minute, could you do my books? And so my first client happened very accidentally in 2010. And then things just kind of kept going. And I was by myself up until 2018, when then I had as much work as I could take. Somebody else asked, could you do my books? And I went, what am I doing? And that's when I was like, well, wait, what if I found some people to work with me? And what if they were women who were trying to get back into the workplace? And that's when I found, in the course of that next year, 2 women that are still with us now in the combined firm. And so it's like 7 years, I think, that that they've been with me, and that became very just meaningful, I guess. So anyway, and I was in raw books at the time. I liked the little pun because the books are never cooked. And so anyway, we were having fun, but then I was a part of a local group for bookkeepers and accountants, and it's called All Star Accounting Professionals. We should give them a shout out. And so then that's when I think Heather should take over.
Right. So my early story is I'm an engineer turned accountant.
Okay.
I worked in the pharmaceutical research and development industry for 11 years. And then I dabbled in some other really nerdy, seriously think Big Bang Theory, working with physicists in a couple different startups. And I was coming out of my last W-2 role as the VP of Finance and Operations, trying to get all their systems set up for a consumer product startup business. And like a lot of women in our situation, we needed to make some household changes because the model was not working for both my husband and I to work full time. And the kids were 4th and 6th grade, and decided I had this perfect model of a remote accountant who worked for me at the last startup. And I want to do that. I could do that.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough that I had some great mentors in my network that encouraged me to just go for it. So that was in 2017. And I also brought on a team member, I think within the first couple of months, just to help me with some of the data entry, who is also with us. It's been 8 years now. And so early on, I had decided I wanted to have completely remote model. I did not want to be obligated to go into someone's office and do everything via QuickBooks Online. And I got a lot of pushback from like different tax CPAs that are in my network about like, why? Because I want to know it. I want to know it in and out. I don't want to have to learn a different accounting ledger. And it's amazing how efficient you can get when you just stick with one platform.
Sure.
So, so then Kim and I met through this networking group and like first started kind of walking and talking shop and grabbing coffee. And then it was 2023.
Well, in 2022, Heather, is when I asked you.
Okay. You take over from here.
Heather, what did you think about maybe, I don't know, joining forces? Because I knew I wanted a partner at that point. I was like, I'd rather do this collaboratively with somebody. And I asked her, and she was kind of like, so, and I was like, okay, fine. So then we kept having coffee and all that. And then one day in the car, coming back from that All-Star Accounting Professionals, one of their events, she's like, my husband keeps asking, when are we going to talk about this? And I'm like, talk about what? What are you talking about? And then I realized she's talking about getting together. I'm like, oh. So that was 2023, May. It was May 2023.
Gotcha. So we're going on 2 years. Or sorry, we're going on 3 years. I'm like, it's 2025. Yeah, that's my public math.
We're going on 3 years, but it took us about 15 months to really like formulate,
to lock it in.
Yeah, we started talking kind of May, June of 2023 and couldn't really agree on a name. And then we were going into busy season. So we're just like, hey, let's just pause.
Yeah.
And we kind of took this as more of like, we were dating. We were really just dating. And then at the end of 2023, we started being subs to each other and kind of
living
utilizing
together.
Team resources across. Then what did you say, Kim?
And living together. That's when we started living together.
Living together, yeah. And then we ultimately decided, because there's two of us and we both have different creative minds, to bring in a third party to help us with our branding and marketing strategy and things like that. And so that was a evolution of process and came up with Luma Accounting, which kind of derived from illumination. And
No, I like that. I like that a lot. Well, there's a couple things in all that I'd like to kind of circle back and hit on. And one of those is, and this is like now it's a theme, and I'm amazed at how thematic it's been. But the transition, the re-entering the workforce, especially like from the female perspective. So my wife and I, we just had our third kid, and so thank you. But from like the guys end of the guy's perspective, we are going through this exact kind of transition that you guys kind of alluded to right now. And I've been amazed in Realize and in some of the other folks we've talked to, Lauren, who we mentioned, Katrina Kowalski was our second episode. There's a lot of women who ran into kind of that same phase of life and said, hey, I can go do this remote accounting thing and make it fit my kind of lifestyle goals and family goals. I just think that's so cool because I don't know, I come from the Army, which is very rigid and like it's not, you don't get to really choose your own adventure. And so it's so cool to me to see that in this space you can kind of make it whatever you want it to be. I don't know. That excites me. So I'm curious, when you guys decided, I guess it might be different for each of you, but you decided to go out, was the goal from the get-go to build female teams, or did that just kind of happen because of personality or culture? Like, what was that kind of a mission from the start?
I'll start on that one. And what I will say is I find that in talking to so many women that have started their own firms, it is in very large part, if not all, you really can't get the flexibility you need within corporate America. Okay. Yeah. And it typically seems to be the men in a partnership that end up being in the workplace still. And the women typically take on a caregiving role. That's for another podcast. But
sure.
Yeah, you see all these women doing it because they have so much to offer, and yet they can't find a place to do it. And so they're having to start their own firms.
Yeah.
I did not mean to do that for me personally, because I was just kind of like, hey, I need to get something other than the kids stuff and just running a family. In my, like, you have to use your brain in a different way sometimes. That was just for me. So that's why I started. It was not typical. And therefore, I feel so fortunate at this point to have ended up here and like in partnership with someone like Heather. So I cannot say it was my master plan.
Yeah.
Heather.
No, and I think that you said like so much to give, so much to offer. And I think that's so true because what I've seen, just from talking to other folks doing it and seeing it in the community and within our own team, Marissa, our one of our team members, is kind of same thing, works from home, totally remote. There's so many people that have such high levels of talent, and if you're willing to open flexible roles and have part-time positions and be flexible on hours, which in our field, that's one of the major advantages I think we have, is that the work can happen asynchronously. You can access this giant talent pool that is out there and looking for opportunities like this, and I think kind of underserved. And I think you're totally right. That's a huge. I didn't realize it until we started, and we made our first. I'm in office. Matt, my teammate Matt, we're in the office. But Marissa, our teammate's out of office. And when we brought Marissa on, I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. We should do this again. And so it's interesting to me that I'm not the first one to think of it. I love seeing other people who are like ahead of me on that and have kind of realized this kind of before I did. So I think that's really cool.
I think my situation's a little bit different because I didn't take time off from having kids. I always was working full time. And when I had to make that transition, this was 2017, remote work. I was looking for an executive management job part-time in operations or finance. That didn't exist.
Right.
Like, that flexibility didn't exist. And, but with Kim and I coming together, we were both at phases of our life where we had started our own businesses, and now we were creating Luma Accounting with intention to give back, because we both became empty nesters within 2 years of each other and have kind of crossed over that threshold of raising
Sure.
young children and kids, and now we can bring on team members who need that, want and need that for their own
Yeah.
family. So it's kind of
No,
great.
I think that's super cool. And I think at least my experience has been that it's not like I mean, I'd love to say that it's like an act of service and a mission thing, but it's a win-win because I think you have
Totally.
access to, like I said earlier, just a higher level of talent, at a more maybe like you can trade flexibility, which small firms have that to offer. Whereas if you were competing for full-time 40-hour week people, it's hard to compete with corporate America. And so anyway, I think it's super cool. So
Yeah, it's kind of
what,
because quite honestly, I
uh-huh.
want there to be more opportunity for women, right? And at the
Mhm.
same time, I'm kind of like, fine, y'all that are completely ignoring this and going,
Yeah.
no, we really can't do that. You need to be whatever it is, in person, certain hours, all of that.
Right.
Well, I therefore got a lot more people to look at. And quite honestly, we're having people that are applying to us and saying 40 plus hours. And I'm like, I'm not sure if that's actually going to be the right fit here
Yeah.
because there are many places that offer that. And the people that are looking for this, where I've got 20 hours to give during a week, and I'm going to cherish those 20 hours because it
Yeah.
gets me out of whatever I'm doing at
Yeah.
home.
No, exactly. That's yeah.
Like they are, I think, built. I mean, they're really in it. And that you see in the work and in just, I don't know, we've just had a
Yeah, the
great
passion.
experience.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, I think that's so cool. Like I said, I'm glad you guys brought that up in your intake sheet because it immediately resonated with me. I'm like, this it's a theme. It's becoming a theme, and you're not the first ones to say it. I think it's definitely an opportunity there. So one of the other things that I saw in both of your the little forms you guys gave us was best experience ever. And it made me smile because you both referenced it in all caps with periods in between each word. And so there's something there. Tell me a little bit about this best experience ever mantra.
Okay. So, when we came together, I had never been a part of really starting a firm, right? I mean, it was accidental, all that. So I'm like, I got to know. Heather has an MBA, so she's had access to all this stuff. So I start reading. I like to read, and I read a bunch of books, and I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know, this whole idea of having this mission statement, right? And there are many that are word salad. And I went, it can't be that. So then I read this book called Marketing from the Inside Out, written by a guy here in Portland, um, Sean Bussey at
Mhm.
Kinesis, just to give him a little shout out. And I read that thing and he says, you need a 1-word mission. And I'm like, 1 word? Wow, that sounds fascinating. What would it be? And I could not come up with 1 word. So then I was like, well, what about if we just had a couple of words? And for some reason, I just felt like this whole word period, word period, word period was kind of big at the time on social media and people would use it. And I liked it. So then I was like, aspirationally, what if like we were really just going for the best experience ever that a client's ever had with a vendor? Doesn't matter if it's
Mhm.
accounting or not. It's just literally the best experience ever.
Mhm.
And it had to be all caps and it had to be a bold and it had to be italic. So we write it that way every single time. As a matter of fact, just for
I love
fun.
that. Oh, look at that. For anybody listening on Spotify, or Kim's got a T-shirt that's got it on the back. I love that. I
It's on
love
the back.
that.
It had to be there. So
And in the standard format. I love it.
yes. I just it needs to be everywhere because that is supposed to be the message. We have a whole now we shorten it to BXE for
I saw that
best
too.
experience ever. And we have a BXE channel in Slack with our team. We talk about BXE every time. We just literally are trying to get everyone in that mindset of we
Mhm.
should be looking for exactly. It's not that we're always going to do their best experience. As a matter of fact, we helped several of our legacy clients that it just really wasn't a fit anymore. We became bigger. We have a team approach. Our rates went up. And we're like, we're not your best experience ever anymore. And as a matter of fact, we're going to help you find someone here in our local community.
Yeah, it's
So
not you, it's me.
that's how it came to be. But it really is our all-encompassing, like, I don't know, vision, motto, what, I don't know.
And the
No,
team's
I
like
love that.
completely embraced it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I mean, just from an outsider, just seeing it pop up twice, it made me smile. I'm like, so I can imagine for the team, it's got to be fun. What does that look like though? How do you operationalize best experience ever? Do you have some examples for like how that makes? Because I get it from a culture perspective, but how does that make its way into systems or in like day-to-day practices?
Onboarding is probably one of the best, just in the fact that over the last year and a half since Kim and I came together, we've really tried to improve that that experience from both the client side and the team side, because she and I are no longer the ones actually onboarding the clients. And
Gotcha.
so just coming up with a standardized way of making sure we're setting up every single client the same way. And it is lengthy, but it also gets them into our systems and terminology and the comfort working directly with the lantern leader, which is what we call our client managers.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. And then part of that too is Kim and I, because we're doing the discovery and kind of the business development proposal scoping with the clients, is we do a 3-month check-in after the clients come on board. So the team's really working with them day to day, getting access to whatever systems, the client systems, and standardizing the bookkeeping monthly flow. And then we kind of do a 3-month check-in with the client of just like, hey, how's it going? And usually it's like this huge sigh of relief from the business owner of,
Yeah.
they just know that they are being taken care of and have absolute trust in the team to keep their financials up to date every month.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So
And two other things I want to mention about that. Sorry.
yeah. No, please.
But best experience ever is for the team first and the client second. I mean, some days we might switch that around, but it is for both. And so that's where it really has been helpful to come out with, first of all, who's our ideal client? Because it is not going to work with everyone. If we've got someone who's like, yeah, you guys sound great, but no, I'm not going to use a client portal. We're like, you need someone else. So that's been helpful. And then with the team, they get to then grade the clients every year. And that's how we decided to choose who we said, we're not your best experience ever. Like, and the team wasn't having a good experience. And that means the client isn't having, because they're like, why are you bothering? Why are you asking me questions all the time? We're like, because that's how we do it. So yeah, it really has been, it's informed a lot. And now we have a BXE survey that goes out at the 3-month level or 3-month mark for after onboarding. And then we've got that goes out annually to every client. And we've made it short. And it's just literally like, hey, scale 1 to 5, how much are we meeting it? And if so, why? And if not, why not? So we're trying to make it easy, best experience ever for them, even in the survey, but we want to know and we really want to act on that feedback.
I love that. There's a lot there that I absolutely love because I don't know. I would imagine it's the same for you guys, but when we do sales or discovery calls, the number one complaint is never a technical issue. It's always communication or just like the overall experience is, hey, I didn't have a relationship with my previous firm, or they never got back to me, or I felt like I was a distraction for them. And it's just so, I mean, I don't know, because we're small. And in the grand scheme of things, both of our firms are on the smaller side, but so maybe it gets hard. I'm sure it gets harder. Like most operational things, it gets harder as you scale, but I also just don't think the bar is that high to deliver great customer experience. So, no, anyway, I like the application of that. One thing that you brought up, Heather, is that I thought was interesting. So you guys have handed off onboarding. So you and Kim, you guys don't do onboarding. And Kim, you made some big gestures, so that was a big win, I take it.
Yeah, let's just say Heather and I are truly working to be working on the business, not
Hmm.
in it.
Yeah.
And, we have an operations manager now, and we have plans for other things that are going to come into the org chart that are going to have us only up here. So,
Right. Right. So, but you guys still do discovery and sales,
Hmm.
or is that okay? Okay.
Yeah.
So, how do you guys? Because the choreography of that is something that I think can get tricky. So, how do you guys do the handoff from, you know, I'm a new client. I show up and I want to work with you guys. We do discovery, and I'm doing it with one of you two, and then I get handed off for onboarding. And is that onboarding person the same person who's servicing me into the future? Like, walk me through the kind of handoff between from team member to team member, because I find that fascinating.
Yeah. So Kim and I are the filters. You can think of us as the filters, right?
I like
So
that.
we get to say first pass, is this somebody we want to continue to talk with or not? Because it needs to be a
Sure.
mutual fit, right? Both for us
And
and for the client.
and when you say first pass, is there a screening call? Like, is this a 2-call
Okay.
process, or yeah?
We'll go through the whole process here. So
Okay.
whether they come to us via phone call, email introduction,
Hmm.
or find us on Google search, everybody comes through our very short intake form on our website. That's
Okay.
step one. From there, Kim and I, we look at a few things like what's their revenue size, what industry do they support. We really don't have a whole lot of information on there. Um, but one important one is it a legit business? Because
Yeah.
we have seen a few that are either websites still in development. It's like, what's going on there? Um, and then we will set up a kickoff, like a discovery call with that lead and go through a series of questions to better understand what their situation is with their QuickBooks setup. There may be existing bookkeeper or accountant if they're using one, and pull a little bit more information from there. Most often, we then go into, we call it a shine a light. We've got all the kinds of names, which is really a diagnostic, like an assessment. We get access to their QuickBooks file. We do charge for that. And then we provide a little write up and a video of what we see so they can see, we're in their QuickBooks and we show them here are the things that we're seeing. And from there, and usually the team member, someone on our team is doing that shine a light assessment. And so there's somebody else going into their books. And then Kim and I will work with them on okay, what did you see? What do we need to do for cleanup? And put together a proposal and cost estimate for that, as well as what do we think that bookkeeping engagement, ongoing monthly accounting services engagement would look like.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, we tend to have another follow-up call with the client, and we really don't want to be doing cleanups unless they're going to be coming on board for longer
Right.
term.
For recurring. Sure. That makes sense.
So at that point, we are now bringing in our lantern leaders into that follow-up call. So it's an introduction. They get to see someone else. It's not just Kim or I on the call with the client. And I mean, even from the very get-go, we let them know that we're a team. Like you're not going to be dealing with one person. We set you up
Right.
with both the lantern leader, and then the lantern leaders usually have what we call light keepers, which is our bookkeepers. So they know that right from the get-go. They're not just going to be working with one of us directly.
Got it.
And then we go into more of the onboarding process. But the lantern leaders are now taking ownership of that.
and that, by the way, that was like the last client that we officially brought on. And it was one of the
Mhm.
first times that we had done this. And so the lantern leader is getting to hear from the client directly before any contract is signed and is asking
Yeah.
questions that I may not think to ask. So I've got on my kind of vision of it, but they're coming from a totally different angle. And so it has really helped on that. And then, like, the client was thrilled with our lantern leader and was just like, oh my gosh, that was so great. And I don't know. I think that's really been a great thing we've started there.
How long has it been how long has that process, as you described it, been in place? Is that okay? Yeah. So
All
you,
the rest
but
of it more, but that
sure,
one
but the last right. So
Yeah,
we
it's kind of,
oop,
I mean, this is a constant evolution. Like, we're never
of
going to
course,
be done. Nothing that
of
will
course,
ever be like set in stone. It's always constantly improving. How did it go
of
last
course.
time? And we've also started to implement both once the client agrees to the cleanup and ongoing kind of here's the plan proposal. We're having an internal kickoff meeting with our ops manager and the lantern leader. So everybody's on the same page because things do get lost in the cracks between emails and conversations. And then when we are wrapping up cleanups now and transitioning over to kind of ongoing maintenance, we're also doing a little debrief. What went well, what didn't go well, what surprises came up, because there's always surprises when you get into a client's
Yep.
set of books, and just that constant take that information, put that back in our process. And that's why it's like we're expanding what we do and how we ask things with the intent that it'll eventually come back into more of a streamline. But for now, it's like, oh yeah, we
Sure.
missed that. We got it. So
No, of course. Yeah, that makes sense. And the lantern leaders that you mentioned, these folks are they're not technical. They're not doing they're not the ones doing the actual accounting. They are administrative, or how
No,
what is kind of not administrative. Okay, what
no, they're client managers. But so
okay.
they've all done the work forever. They now can do the really high level work that,
Mm,
can be done. But then they have light keepers to do the more basic work or the stuff that's more repetitive so that they
gotcha.
focus just on that so that they are able to have more and more clients under them.
Gotcha. Is the lantern leader the one doing review? Got it.
they are.
So the lantern leader basically is reviewing, so they are technical as well, and they're managing the relationship.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. That
They are
makes sense.
special.
Yes.
They're special. They're special folks.
Mhm.
No, of course I can imagine. I
Great.
can imagine.
Now,
It because that's got to be scary the first time you start handing off client relationships or was it?
For legacy clients, it was harder because, like, Kim had some clients for 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
I think you had already started handing off some of those. Um, so those legacy clients that we had for a period, long duration of time, yeah, some of those were a little bit harder to hand off. But
Yeah.
all new clients coming in, there's no
That's
need
all they've
for
ever
either of us
known.
to get involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Right. Right. No, that's very cool. Okay. The other thing that you mentioned, Heather, is that I thought was interesting. So when you put together, you mentioned that during your guys' kind of deep dive and the shining a light, you're also putting together scope. And so you dictate scope to the client. This isn't like an a la carte, here's the options, or how do you guys approach that? Is it yeah, I'm curious how
Yeah.
you guys
So
frame that.
the shine a light really allows us to put together the cleanup proposal. And
Okay.
most often there's a little bit of cleanup that has to be done. It's that back and forth evolution of listening to what the client's needs are, knowing what they already have set up, where their trajectory is.
Mhm.
And maybe Kim can chime in on here because we've been evolving this process as well.
Sure. No, I can yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it this is a completely ever-changing thing. But we have come up with here are basically our packages, and we have
Mhm.
3. One's just backwards looking. We call it reflect on the past. One is, hey, we're in it with you during the month, so that's focus on the present. And then there's illuminate the project where you're actually doing project cost accounting, you really, all that. So even within then, we listen to people in the industry and we are trying sort of for a, hey, here's potentially a 3-tier
Yep.
within a package. But I think what's been interesting is usually you come out of there and you go, "Ooh, we know what they need," right?
Yeah.
Based on what they're telling you. But sometimes the price tag that comes with that, they're just not ready for it. And so right
Mm-hmm.
now, I'm really taking this approach of I'm listening to what you're telling me. I think you need to go here, but let's just start off here for now.
Yeah.
And now let's just get it going because some of these people have never had good books. I mean,
Right. So
not
they
that
don't
no one
know. Right.
they don't know what they're missing out on. So let's just get started. Hey, if you never want to change, fine. But we have so much more we can show you over time. And again, let it be a best experience ever from a I hear you. I want to do what you want to do now. And we have potential plans for you down the road.
Sure. No, and that we see that all the time as well. And that's hard. Or it can be hard. Do you guys on those 3-tier proposals, are the tier differences are they scope based? Are they delivery based? I guess what I'm driving at is you've got a client that comes to you and you think they need X, and the client's really only ready to commit to Y. Are the tiers, one tier is X, one tier is Y, or are the tiers like, hey, we'll meet you at what you think you need, but we can deliver it in these 3 different ways?
Kind of think of it like a 3x3 matrix. Okay. So we've got 3 different service offerings depending on how much support they need. So
Okay.
reflect on the past, just bookkeeping, right? They've already done everything. We're just going in and coding. Focus on the present is helping them with their accounts payable. That's being tracked in QuickBooks. Maybe it's being tracked in some other third-party AP system. So it's a little bit more day-to-day support. And then if they need help with invoice creations or payroll, we can add those on. And then
Okay.
the illuminate the project is the full kit and caboodle on cost accounting. Everything's got to be coded multiple ways. Then from each
Got
of
it.
those, there's 3 different levels depending on how frequently the client wants to meet with us. So kind of our standard is we'll meet with you once a year.
And
At
that
year-end.
meeting is advisory. That's
That
or
one
well,
is it's a little bit of both. We want to hear about their business growth. We want to hear how things went. But it's really kind of a year-end wrap-up, reviewing your books. Then we might do quarterly or monthly, where we are getting more into we'll review your monthly financials with you. We'll talk about the business, what changes, and things like that. So it's kind of different flavors within each service package.
got it.
It's sort of designed to be that's the point where it's really their choice. So that I mean, eventually you'll have it great. We use Anchor, and here you've chosen this, but now you've got these things you could add on. And so we're trying to make some things add on so that you see, hey, this is how much it's going to cost. I mean, again, it's a work in progress, but we've
Sure.
gotten it really much better. And yeah.
Yeah. No, for
I think
sure.
that we've talked a lot about like having the 3 options within our billing system. We use Anchor.
hmm
But oftentimes the client doesn't know what they need. So
Right.
you give them these three options right where they're having to sign the contract, but they don't necessarily fully understand what they're signing up for. And so we've kind of dialed it back a little bit and still doing old school of a little bit of email communication back and forth or a phone call of let's really dig into what you need and
hmm
fit your offerings, fit your package
Right.
to what.
Tailor them.
Yeah.
Right. So okay. No, that makes
Yeah, that
sense.
construction and trades niche of ours, there's they don't have a lot of time to read this stuff, while in their truck. And
On their phone. Yeah.
yeah, so there's a lot of more, hey, let me see if I can summarize it in an email to like this much.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I resonate with that for sure.
Agreed.
These tiers then, so we're doing the 3-tier proposals. Are these tiers, how do you guys conceptualize pricing? Are prices also custom to the client, or is it a flat price per tier? I'm guessing they're custom.
It's we're getting there. This is again an
Yeah.
evolution.
No,
So
that's okay. Yeah.
We don't have like a set price per package. We're really looking at what stage the business is at and
Okay.
what level of support they're going to need.
That they're gonna need.
So it's starting to become a little bit of a percent of revenue, gross revenue of the business, testing that model out. And as they grow, our services are going to have to grow with them
Of
as
course.
is the package, right? The delivery of package. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of the 2026 pricing model right now.
Gotcha. And is that so that percentage of revenue approach that you guys are trying out? Are you is that briefed to the client? Is that client facing, or is that internally, like how you guys are conceptualizing it for yourselves?
I mean, actually, on one of our one pager things, we've got here's the range of gross
Right.
revenue that we consider. Because it really, who wants to try and bait someone in and then them go, what? Are you
Well,
kidding? So we're kind of like, hey, this is how we're viewing it. There is a range. We're going to work with you in there, but you need to know this going in because there is a cost to doing business,
of
especially with a
course.
team and investment in tech and all of these things. So we don't want to at the end be like, oh, guess what? It's $1 million.
No, of course, especially after you invest in like all the discovery, which for the
Right.
bookkeeping is tough. Right. I'm with you. I'm mostly curious because I think bookkeeping pricing is something that we also are just constantly tinkering with, and it never feels like we're there. And I love the idea of just tying it to revenue because I do think that isn't it's a quick and I think relatively accurate, especially if you're niched in a specific field or industry, relatively accurate approximation for demand on the team. I'm just curious if it's pitched like that to the client, if you've gotten pushback or concern from the clients, or the clients don't care.
No, if I've talked to anyone that has said, hey, I don't agree with this approach. I think what it helps spell out is that, hey, the fact that you're signing on with us when you're at 500,000 gross
Of
revenue,
course.
it is not going to be the same rate if you go to
When
1.5
you're
million. And
Of
let's
course.
put that expectation up front.
Right.
But I'm not sure everyone is going to necessarily make that jump. So again, I have not had anyone push back on that. I think the thing that has come up for me and worrying about is when you are talking about different industries, you are going to, like, when we do enough construction and trades, we are going to know this works because we know that
Right.
this is their net income for, let's
Right.
say, commercial is going to be different than residential and
course.
so on and so on. But if you've got a company who's got, 30% net income versus one that's got 8% net income,
It's a
they're
different
going to be
game.
like, whoa, these prices are crazy. So yeah, we're in the lab. We're in the Luma lab right
I think
now.
we all are. But no, but I appreciate you guys being transparent about it, because I think everybody there's this constant like worrying and wondering, like, am I crazy? Are we the only ones yeah, so no, I appreciate you guys' willingness to share. On the niche and on the kind of target clients, how did you guys end up so on your guys' website, it seems like you guys lean into, and I know you guys lean into construction / trades, and then professional services. I saw that on the website.
Attorneys.
And right.
Yeah,
So is there
a new page for attorneys.
So how did we end up with that kind of demographic mix, or that client mix?
I mean, I remembered as one day back in almost a year ago, Heather went, we should niche in construction and trades. And I'm like, all right.
Done. Yeah.
But no, there was reason behind it. I mean, Heather, you know.
Yeah. So, I'm an ex-engineer, and one of my most favorite things I've done in my career was be on the job site. Happen to be the only female on the job site, but be on the job site and get to see, from concept, architectural design, all the way through, hey, look at this. We built this. So there's a little element of my background that just resonates with architecture, engineering, construction, trades. So that's a piece of it. And then Kim had quite a few trades. We had a GC. So, already working with clients in that fashion that we knew between the two of us and the team, especially when it comes to project cost accounting, that we understand that, right? Not everybody can get that concept and help clients understand that and build the data behind it. So that was a big piece of it. And then also just it's still a trade to build something with your hands. With
Yeah.
all the AI and tech that we love,
Yeah.
you're still supporting these small businesses that are making things real.
Out there doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's super cool. How did the lawyers sneak in?
We have so many of them.
Really?
Yeah. And that's another one that it's not trust accounting. Not everyone understands the concept of that. So we just happen to have a portfolio and it's like, okay, I guess this one is
This makes
speaking
sense.
to us.
Gotcha. Okay. On the construction or trades kind of niche, what platforms, because you guys are tech heavy or you're tech forward. Yeah. What platforms are you guys using for, especially for your folks that require class or job costing? Is there specific platforms that you mandate they use, or are you guys willing to play the field?
So I wish, like, in some ways, I want to get to the point that we're mandating what people use. We are not there at this time, but we were involved in implementing Jobber for electricians, electrical contractors group, and they literally said, why didn't we do this sooner? And we said, we've been asking for a couple of years and you wouldn't say yes. But there was that, and now JobTread is one that's being, put in on one of our current clients, and so there are a bunch of them out there. And one of the things Nick, is that we are now going to be working within Realize on here is the list of all the different front end systems, as well as I guess some of they're maybe trying to, hey, you don't even need QuickBooks Online. We're doing it all in here. None of our clients are there, but
Yeah.
just
Same.
seeing how a bit of a race goes on with all of these vendors and knowing which ones are right for the certain things. For instance, House Call Pro and Service Titan, those are like service call business related. That would not work for a general contractor, but Notify does for general contract. So it's getting down that list and then having the opportunity to work in it.
Yeah. But you guys, third party software is new client shows up and they've got their third party project management or their third party system. You guys will learn. You're okay.
We love it. We love it.
Yeah.
Bring it on. I mean, our team loves getting into new platforms and figuring out and making the decision. It's great when tech works and integrations are a happy marriage, but sometimes that's not okay. Like sometimes we have to say, okay, we're just going to let you manage
this piece of it.
Project, your project management, your contract system, and we will take invoices out and put them in QuickBooks if that's what we need to do. So our team is so good at kind of getting in and assessing those new platforms, and it gives them an advantage because they get to see so many. So when we do have clients come and they're like pulling their hair out that either their existing platform they can't stand or whatever, the more we see, the more we can also recommend. You want to use this for this reason. This particular platform has great UX, and your team will find it easy to utilize. So
there's a ton of value there, I'm sure, for the clients. Are you guys what about for like the accounting side, like expense tracking and receipt tracking? Because on the job costing project, that can be a mess. Do you guys mandate a specific solution there, or
So we don't mandate it, but
Okay.
we very much recommend and will help you implement Ramp.
Yep.
So
Same.
Ramp for spend management, be it just the AP side or with
Mhm.
credit cards. I mean, the credit card side is so exciting when you get in there and say, look, you can have it per person, you can have it per project.
It's so
It's
nice.
right. I didn't realize that, hey, by using that card, that's me telling you where to put this. I never have to talk to you again. Ooh,
Right.
that's nice. You know,
Well, we don't need to make this a Ramp commercial, but Ramp is just the more we do with Ramp, the more we love Ramp. And I'm with you. We haven't mandated it yet, but we are moving in that direction. It just has so many capabilities. I mean, it's amazing. And the more you tinker with it, the more we love it. So good. I'm glad to see we're not alone in our love of Ramp. Do you have any clients that use Dext? Do you guys Dext at all? Or
I had a client, I just moved them off.
okay.
And it was more that they were the only client on that platform, and we were getting
Mhm.
to the point where we were going to need to add some of their new team members, and we're just like, we're going to move you. Like we can't,
Let's just
and they didn't want to go on Ramp. So our kind of alternative, if we're just doing receipt management where the team has corporate cards and wants to do that, is we're testing out Expensify. We've used it for a
Okay.
number of clients. It still empowers them that whoever has that card, they have to be the one like adding their receipts and coding or providing notes and then submitting expense reports every week. So that's kind of our one-off
Sure. Sure.
receipt management alternative. We've tried a few others, and you know, we're not afraid to keep trying until we find the right one, right
No,
solution.
that makes sense. No, and I hadn't we have not messed with Expensify, so I made a note. I'll check it out for sure. Because there are some folks that just have this albeit folks that haven't tried it, but there are folks who have an aversion to Ramp.
Mhm.
And so we've got a couple. We've got one that's coming to mind that's on Dext, and I would love to get rid of Dext. So I will take that into consideration. I
Are
appreciate
you
that.
are you using Dext for just receipt capture or for AP?
Well, we're using it for this client. We use it for receipt capture, but there's job costing involved, and so it just gets hairy quick. And it's not. I mean, to be fair, it's much better than not having Dext, but it's not nearly as turnkey as Ramp. And it's not going to be. So anyway, but I'm going to check out Expensify because I'm on the hunt for maybe an in between. So no, I appreciate the plug. Um what other softwares for internally from yeah, so internally within your guys' practice, so not the third party client stuff. What softwares are you guys big on? What do you lean into? And have
rock,
been?
paper, scissors, Heather, for who talks about this first.
You go for it, Kim.
But you
You're
found
just
it.
exuding
You found
energy
it.
there.
You go, and I'll fill in maybe color commentary. You go.
Well, I'll go through our tech stack.
Okay.
Okay. So we're QuickBooks Online only.
Mhm.
We utilize Double. That is our only firm management platform that we have at this time. We're making it work. I use Airtable as our internal kind of management database as well. And so we're trying to figure out how we can get Double and Airtable to work because I find it easier to use from like looking at different portfolios of clients and things like that. We use Slack for instant messaging with the team. We're a Google Workspace platform. Ramp is our kind of recommended AP expense provider, and then Gusto is our recommended payroll. So
Okay.
basic tech stack, and then the latest, and I'll let Kim go into the details. So we were really struggling with CRM and AI note takers and how do we pull all that together? Because like Kim and I said, we were the ones doing the discovery calls. And so
Yep.
oftentimes we'd have to like take a link from our Fathom, put that into a Google Doc so the whole team could see it and share it. And a couple months ago, I started looking into these other AI note takers that are being built specific for accounting firms. So there's, I'm going to get this wrong, Abacore, Vinyl, and Ping
Heard about it.
Assistant. And I demoed a couple of those and landed on Ping Assistant and started testing it out, and then had Kim test it out. And we finally brought in our Lantern leaders in December. And now Kim can tell you all the features that are just so fascinating.
So I know why get so excited about an AI note taker, but that's not what this is. It does take notes during your meetings. And by the way, you can be virtual like this and it adds in. You can have a phone call and there's a way to get that on the phone call. You can be in person, just have your phone sitting there.
Just out of curiosity, phone call that works on a cell phone, not just on a VoIP system. Like that'll
Nope.
also work just on your cell. That's
Yep.
cool.
No,
That's
it's
cool.
very cool. So it's getting your recordings. It knows who your clients are because you, and by the way, it syncs to double. Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Us.
It's a native sync. It's
Um,
not like some
it
duct
is.
tape. Okay,
No.
that's cool.
No. So you got your meetings. It syncs to your Gmail or Microsoft Outlook. So now it is tracking your emails as well. So when you go and click on a client in there, if you've ever looked into, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on this, but there's another one, Carbon. Carbon has a timeline. And so it shows you this email, this meeting, this email, all that for all the people involved with that client. It has a timeline for you. And then it has, you know how Chat GPT works? I mean, it's got a little space and you go and you start asking it questions and it comes back with answers and references. That's what this does. So you click
That's
on a
cool.
client and ask Ping, and you can say, I think that the client mentioned at one of our last meetings that they wanted an additional service. What was it? That thing goes off in between emails and your recordings, and it knows all the transcripts, and it comes back and says, yes, Dave said in meeting, blah, 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 and it gives you the reference link that you can just click on it, and it will answer all those questions for you. There is no more reading through transcripts. And then that's from the client perspective, right? Now imagine that you have tags and you know what all your clients are. Let's start asking, what are all of our clients talking about in their check-in meetings? Imagine having a script that you want
Yeah.
every Lantern leader to have during our glow sessions, which are our check-in meetings. And they're following that script generally. So then you start asking, what are the top 3 things discussed in what are the issues you're facing right now across all your clients? What about on your team, you being able to see all of the conversations that Nellie has, and you're like, tell me how they're doing on this. Are they bringing up whatever? Just imagine this. So there's client intelligence is one of the ways that they're calling it, but then there's firm intelligence, which is coming. And I will say that not only has that been great, like we're still trying to just figure out how to use all the functionality in there.
Yeah, right.
It's a little mind bending about what all you can do. And then those people, man, did you watch Silicon Valley?
I've seen clips of it. I've never watched it.
Okay. It is worth watching, by the way, because
I'm uncultured.
it is such a good culture, but it's so funny. But it's like being associated with a startup because they are. And those people have turned around. I will send them a Loom video. I want a count of how many Loom videos I've sent them. This is what's happening for me. I send it off. Ooh, we got it. It's a UI thing. Hold on. The fix will be in there within a day, if not a couple of hours. And so
That's
I cannot
cool.
promise that that's going to continue.
Sure.
But, between Chad Holmes and Cameron Bean and Docker D, I mean, it has been really fun to work with it. So anyway, I know I've gone on and on and on. I will stop now.
No, that is cool. We use Fireflies which, another one of the generic ones. And that's been a huge unlock for us, but it doesn't incorporate the email. So our email search is still very primitive. And so you're saying that this gives you an interface where I can search basically all communications specific to a client.
Yes.
Including Google Drive and whatever Microsoft's thing is, that's going to get incorporated as well, so that all your documents are
You can
going
search
to.
your Drive file for the client as well.
Yeah, and I think they interface Heather to Anchor, but I've never even looked at that. So they might be able to look at your engagement,
Your proposals and your engagements.
proposals
Yeah.
in that.
That might
So
become
yeah, and then the final thing I would say is Heather mentioned these are the 3 that are accounting specific, and you're like, well, what does that mean? Well, when they show you here's the write up about your meeting, they are searching, they're listening for certain terms about accounting or your, I don't know, taxes, and so it's not just general. It kind of gives you the top line on here are the accounting things that got talked about in this meeting, which is very nice.
That is cool.
And then the other piece is it's listening for action items. I mean, all these note takers will have a list of action items, but because it's synced or connected to Double and the client is specifically connected to the client in Double, it does create action items for you that you can then go and assign due dates and assignees to push into Double so it shows up as a task for the team within Double. So we haven't really started using that quite yet. We don't have our entire team on the platform, but it's pretty powerful. It's solving a lot of issues. It's a great solution to a lot of the issues that Kim and I were having the past year of, again, she and I are having the conversations. Where do we do with that information? Okay, we got to put a link onto a Google Doc. And then we have this master Google Doc that has all these links, but not the transcripts, and emails are separate. And so it's going to be fun to test out over the next year.
And just like those tasks that get pushed into Double, the summary, you just click a button that gets posted as a note in Double on the client. So now your entire team knows exactly what got talked about. And
yeah.
Yeah,
there's no more of this, like the 10 minutes after the call is just me taking all the promises I made and putting them in the right spots. Yeah, that's
and
huge.
email generation. It will draft an email in Gmail or Outlook, whatever you're using. We're not using this yet just because there's so many things to try out. But here's the summary for, Joe client, and send it right off. You never have to do anything other than that.
Well, I'm sold. I'm going to check it out.
We have
taking
a code
copious notes.
We have a code for you, so
Send me your code. Send me your code. We'll put it in the show notes, and I'm gonna check it out. I'm sold. I like the sound of that. Well, cool. I really wanted to talk or get into your guys's branding, your theme, your lore with this, all these plays on where I love that, but unfortunately I got to move us to close. So we might have to do a follow up, because that I really want to talk about that. That's something that, well, anyway, we'll leave that for maybe the future. But in the interest of moving us along, we've been doing these 5 questions that we ask everybody at the end of every episode. I think we agreed we're going to name them the final 5. So Matt will have to come up with some little jingle that we can cut in here. But if you guys are okay with it, let's go ahead and jump into those, and then we'll do them one at a time, and each one of you can give us an answer. But first question is, what is your favorite business book?
Kim.
Favorite, I got a preview of these, and I read it more as what was influential. And so I would say when I read the E-Myth, that was, I went, oh, working on the businesses instead of in the business. But I will say that most of the books by Patrick Lencioni that I have read have been, he really gets at the heart of teams and how a firm works and all of that. So I think I would say those. I've got so many. I'm just going to leave it at that. Heather?
Mine right now is Traction.
Both
just starting to
classics.
dabble in EOS a little bit, understanding that that methodology and helping that, like, that's helping understand a little bit more of Kim and I and how we both function and where we can go from there for the team.
Those are both phenomenal. Those I love Traction. I love I love the E-Myth. I've heard many good things about Pat Lencioni, and I've heard him referenced a million times, and I'm ashamed to say I have yet to pick up a Pat Lencioni book. So I'm writing it down. It's going on the list. I appreciate the plug. What about question number 2? What is, and maybe we already know the answer to this, but what is one system or tool that you guys couldn't live without?
Maybe eventually it's Ping, but I think it's double. Like,
Still double. Yeah.
it was an evolution. This is where before Kim and I were together, it was funny because I think I was using Asana and then Kim had discovered something called Pixie and I'm like, ooh, that sounds great. And so then I implemented Pixie and gave it 6 months and like, nope, that's not going to work for me. Um, and then I came across Keeper 3 years ago at Intuit Connect and was just like, this is great. This is great. Um, and now thinking about how it's helped us just from a quality control, all the built-in QC standards, like that is the way we do month end. No questions. That's like everybody's doing it the same way. And so you talk about the best experience ever again, delivering. We know the quality of financials that our clients are going to get from our team across the board. So
Yeah.
that would be my vote.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I was going to say the same thing, actually. Did you notice that we didn't say QuickBooks Online?
I'm with you there. If I didn't have to, I wouldn't. Yeah, that's fair.
It's coming. It's coming eventually.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's a couple. There's a what's the one I was looking at? Anyway,
Digits,
I'm blanking on
puzzles.
yeah. I think it was digits. It was digits. Yeah. Hopefully soon. But okay, cool. What about events or conferences? Do you guys have any events or conferences that you guys are planning on going to for 2026?
Yeah, so and we're going to a couple together and then maybe a couple separately, but I think the first one I'd say is Wave Seattle, hosted by Erin Poen for women in finance and accounting. We went to the inaugural one last year. It was fabulous. It's grown this year and we can't wait to go. I think Heather has to miss it because of an amazing trip that she's taking.
Oh, want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scaling New Heights. I'm going back to Scaling New Heights. And then probably Intuit Connect and possibly Reframe.
Mm-hmm.
Reframe.
That's actually Garcia's.
Oh, okay. Got
Yeah.
it.
I've been watching that for a couple of years, and so this is the year. And then I also went to 2 years ago, Randy Crabtree's Bridging the Gap, and that was amazing. So I'm going back this year too.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. No, I appreciate you guys bringing those up. That we're looking to fill our schedule, and so we're poaching best
There are a
ideas
lot.
from. There are a lot. That's why we're trying to get the good ones, trying to get the short list. So, what about hobbies? What do each of you do for fun outside of running the team and doing accounting?
I like to be outside. I mean, we're in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
We are in the Portland metro area, so it's a little bit of a drive, like an hour to get really out into the mountains, but just getting outside, gardening and cooking, I love. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I really got into sewing and knitting like back in 2018. My doing those has dropped off a little bit over the past 2 years, but I still really enjoy them. And I really enjoy reading. So I usually have a business book going and then like a memoir and read them at different times of the day.
I respect that. The two books at the same time throws me. But I like that.
Reading at night at bed. The business book is, I'm just not going to make it through it. So that's where you got.
That is true. That's fair. That's fair. What about, last question, where can people go to find out more about each of you or to connect with you guys?
Ooh, I think LinkedIn, the main place.
LinkedIn.
You check us out on our website, lumaaccounting.com, and then find Kim and I on our LinkedIn profiles.
Perfect. And we'll link the website in the show notes as well. So cool. Well, Heather, Kim, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to jump on. It was great to meet you both. And Kim, finally, I'm looking forward to our call next week.
Sweet.
I'm looking forward to it. I was bummed I missed the last one, but it should be fun. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on, and we'll be looking forward to keeping an eye on you guys and Realize, and chatting with you next week, Kim.
Yes. Thanks very much. This has been great.
Thank you, Nick.
Oh, perfect.
All right. Well, that wraps up our interview with Kim and Heather. Thank you both so much for taking the time to come on the show. Had a great time chatting with them both and getting to know them and their firm, Luma Accounting. I don't know, Matt, what'd you think?
I thought that they, kind of like they said in the application, they're a very technology-driven firm, and you didn't really raise it in the interview, but I think that they clearly work well together, and I like their I like how deep that they went with their naming structures, both on the client-facing side and internally. I don't know what that would look like for us with our how deep we would sail with that, but I thought that was cool.
No, we should rip a page out of their playbook and start developing our lore, dude.
It's less applicable when I'm like when it was like the oarsman or something for bookkeeping, and it's just me. It's just me rowing the boat.
Just row the boat, baby. Run, baby, row. No, that's funny. We need to start developing our lore. That's awesome. And you're right. The other thing that I totally wanted to ask them about, and we just ran out of time, was just kind of their experience just joining forces and kind of going the partnership route.
Yeah, I kind of glossed over that. But it seemed like they.
Yeah.
I guess we've had people that have done kind of like the part-time side hustle. You've referred to it, and then we've had people that did. I guess it's still part-time, like contracting, but they had a period, I guess, where they were still very separate, and then slowly merged. Yeah,
like Batman and Robin, or
became a super lantern,
peanut butter and jelly. So anyway, I would have loved to go deeper on that. Kim and Heather, if you guys are game, we'll just have to do it again. We'll have to run it back. So, well, that's our show. We appreciate you guys joining us and listening in. As always, if you have any comments or suggestions for us, we'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed the show and got value from it, please take a second to drop a like or leave us a review. Share it with somebody else who's out running their own firm or thinking about starting a firm. And man, that's all I got. You got anything else?
No. I gotta get something prearranged before the show, so I have something to say here out of that.
At the end, other than just, man.
You got anything to add? No. You said it all. Well, everything we planned and talked about, you said. So.
Yeah, Matt chastised me as well because he says that I steal all his lines, and then I say, okay, let's record it again.
Yeah, we do.
Anytime.
I'll say something that I think may be somewhat insightful. Just have a glimmer of insight, and then Nick will rip it. He'll say, "Okay, cut, next take," and then rip it. Totally.
We're moving to the one take model. You guys won't know the difference because we're getting better at this. I like to think, but we're moving to a one take model. One and done, dude. One and done. We got work to do. But all right. Well, I think that's all we got. We'll see you guys hopefully next week. Appreciate you listening in, and hope
thanks for listening.